Peter Koukov boarded the flight with no idea of the nightmare ahead. It was a routine trip from Minneapolis to Toronto. The descent felt normal. Then, chaos. The plane hit the runway hard. It bounced, then skidded sideways. Koukov said there was no warning from the pilots, no time to brace, just sudden, jarring impact. Fear gripped the cabin. People screamed. The plane lurched again, this time tilting onto its side. Koukov clung to his seat, the world spinning around him. He remembers a deafening screech of metal. Then, darkness. Koukov regained consciousness in a disoriented daze. His head throbbed and his vision was blurry. He tried to make sense of his surroundings, but everything felt surreal, like a nightmare he couldn't wake up from. He was hanging upside down. The world was inverted, and it took him a moment to realize that the plane had crashed. His seatbelt was still fastened, pinning him against the ceiling, which used to be the floor. The sensation was disorienting, and he felt a wave of nausea wash over him. Panic surged through him as he realized the gravity of the situation. The plane had flipped. He could hear the distant sound of alarms and the crackling of small fires. He looked around and saw the same terror in the eyes of his fellow passengers. Their faces were pale and their eyes wide with fear. Some were crying, others were in shock, unable to comprehend what had just happened. They were suspended in mid-air, some still strapped to their seats, others lying on the ceiling. The scene was chaotic, with luggage and personal belongings scattered everywhere. The air was thick with the smell of jet fuel and the sound of muffled cries. The smoke made it hard to breathe, and Koukov could feel his chest tightening with each breath he took. He knew he had to act quickly if he wanted to survive. Summoning all his strength, Koukov reached for the seatbelt release. His fingers fumbled, but he managed to unbuckle himself. He fell to the ceiling with a thud, the impact jarring but necessary. He began to crawl through the overturned plane, navigating the debris and helping other passengers who were still trapped. His mind raced with thoughts of survival, and he knew that every second counted. Outside, he could hear the faint sounds of emergency responders arriving at the crash site. The rescuers were entering the plane, their voices a beacon of hope amidst the chaos. Koukov and the other passengers were finally being rescued. The relief on their faces was palpable as they were pulled to safety. The nightmare was far from over, but they had survived the initial terror. The aftermath of the crash was devastating. The wreckage of the plane lay scattered across the runway, and emergency vehicles surrounded the scene. But amidst the destruction, there was a glimmer of hope. They had survived, and that was all that mattered. Koukov fumbled with his seatbelt, his heart pounding loudly in his chest. He managed to release it and drop to the floor, now above him. He scrambled to help the woman next to him, who was struggling to get free. Others weren't so lucky. The disorientation and panic made it difficult for some to unbuckle their seatbelts. Some passengers fell from their seats, sustaining serious injuries. Koukov remembers helping a man with a broken leg and a woman who was in shock. Every single second felt like an eternity. Section 4. Capturing the Chaos. Amid the pandemonium, some passengers reached for their phones, not to call loved ones but to document the unfolding nightmare. Ashley Zook, a passenger, recorded several videos, including one showing her hanging upside down, still secured in her seat. Another passenger, John Nelson, filmed the scene from outside the aircraft. His videos showed emergency crews racing towards the burning wreckage, desperate to reach those trapped inside. These videos, raw and terrifying, would later provide a chilling account of the crash and the miraculous escape. Section 5. Escape from the Inferno. The scene was nothing short of a nightmare, a chaotic blend of fire, smoke, and desperate cries for help. John Nelson, who had been filming the scene, could feel the intense heat from the fire that was now engulfing the plane. The flames roared like a beast, consuming everything in their path with a relentless fury. He described it as a giant firewall, an impenetrable barrier of heat and light that seemed to stretch endlessly. The smoke was thick and black, curling into the sky like a dark omen. Flight attendants, their voices strained but resolute, urged passengers to move quickly. Their training kicked in, guiding them through the chaos with a calm that belied the terror of the situation. Despite the chaos, a sense of urgency and cooperation prevailed. Passengers, driven by a primal instinct to survive, moved with a purpose. They helped each other, forming a human chain to navigate the treacherous path to safety. Passengers helped each other navigate the wreckage, their fear overshadowed by the need to survive. The sense of community in the face of disaster was palpable. a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Nelson remembers crawling through the smoky cabin, the air acrid and hot, towards the light of the emergency exit. Each breath was a struggle, the smoke searing his lungs, but the thought of escape kept him moving. The light at the end of the tunnel was his beacon of hope, guiding him through the darkness. Section 6. Against all odds. 80 souls were on board that flight, 80 souls who faced their mortality amidst the twisted metal and flames, and yet, by some miracle, all 80 survived. 21 passengers were taken to the hospital, their injuries a testament to the violence of the crash. Most injuries were minor cuts, bruises, and sprains. The fact that there were no fatalities is nothing short of a miracle. It's a testament to the quick thinking of the passengers and crew, and the swift response of the emergency services. Section 7. Searching for answers. The investigation into the crash is ongoing. Experts from various fields have been called in to piece together the events that led to this tragic incident. Each fragment of evidence, no matter how small, could be crucial in understanding what went wrong. The CRJ-900 aircraft, operated by Delta subsidiary Endeavour Air, went down at approximately 2:15 p.m. local time. The flight, which was supposed to be a routine journey, turned into a nightmare within moments. Eyewitnesses reported seeing the plane struggling before it descended rapidly. The Transportation Safety Board is working to determine the cause of the crash, analyzing the black box recordings, and interviewing the crew and passengers. The black box, which records flight data and cockpit conversations, is a vital piece of the puzzle. It holds the last moments of the flight, providing insights into what the pilots were experiencing and discussing. What caused this routine flight to end in such a terrifying crash? Was it mechanical failure, human error, or perhaps an unforeseen weather event? The investigators are meticulously examining every aspect of the aircraft, from the engines to the cockpit controls, to find any anomalies that could explain the sudden descent. These are the questions investigators are working tirelessly to answer. They are sifting through mountains of data, cross-referencing flight records, and consulting with aviation experts. Each piece of evidence is scrutinized to ensure that no detail is overlooked. One thing is certain, the survivors of this crash are forever marked by the experience, their survival a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The harrowing ordeal has left them with physical and emotional scars, but also a profound sense of gratitude for their second chance at life. Emergency responders played a crucial role in the aftermath, providing immediate care and support to the survivors, ensuring they were safely transported to medical facilities. The impact of the crash extends beyond the survivors. Families of the victims are grappling with immense grief, seeking solace in each other and the community. Memorials have been set up to honor those who lost their lives, with flowers and candles symbolizing the love and memories that remain. The community has come together, offering support and solidarity in this time of tragedy. In the wake of the crash, aviation experts are also re-evaluating safety measures and protocols. Training sessions for pilots are being intensified, and maintenance crews are conducting thorough inspections of similar aircraft. The goal is to prevent such a tragedy from happening again, ensuring that every flight is as safe as possible. As the investigation progresses, the final report will be compiled, detailing the findings and recommendations. This report will be crucial in implementing changes and preventing future incidents. Officials will hold a press conference to share the results with the public, providing transparency and closure to those affected. The journey to uncover the truth is long and arduous, but it is a necessary one. As the sun sets over the crash site, a moment of silence is observed, honoring the lives lost and the resilience of those who survived. And as a new plane takes off into the sky, it carries with it the hopes and prayers of a community determined to find answers and ensure a safer future for all.